Tutuborg. So we've got the boss and Lagzilla facing off here. So over here, Lagzilla, FFNEZ, champion of Peru. It's a very quick storehouse there. Interesting you commit to only a handful of trees too. Considering this is a really nice map for the starting hunt. I mean, really, he could have done this here and gained so much value. So it's going to slow him down quite significantly. I mean, it's a water map too. Anyway, we've got the boss over here in the red trunks, having gone for a fast storehouse just straight on the hunt. Super efficient because you've got all these trees. You've got a faster food source than the berries. But FF does have a lot of early wood out of this. It's just that it's a bit short term and does slow him down slightly. I mean, Grungy, his stock's already on the way. Really, if FF had to put that up there with everything building it and put all the villagers on wood, probably could have got this out faster. I don't know. I just don't like that storehouse. Because he's going to have to get another one now. A third storehouse just to gather wood efficiently. Which is really going to hurt him. He's going to want to try and cram out a couple of fishing boats. Whereas Grungy, he's got a good wood storehouse for the next 400 or 500 wood. So he can freely get age 2, get fishing boats without having to throw down even more wood. Look, he's going to have to gather from over here. Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, that'll get him through for now. But I mean, all this walking time's going to slow him down compared to Grungy, in my opinion. Grungy should probably chop from that one first, though. So last game was an interesting one. FFNEZ unfortunately committed too heavily to his age 3, not having gotten anything to deal with Grungy's push out of age 2. So pretty heavy fishing ecos coming in. Grungy on his 3rd fishing ship in queue, FF on his 2nd. Now FF having to gather from the distant trees. And over here he's still got this travel time that's not all that great. Probably would want to eventually throw up a storehouse over here. Oh no, he's just going to transition the villages across. So Zico's not in a bad shape, but Grungy's is a little bit better off. Like Grungy, 19 villages. Oh no, he's getting even more. Well, FF's going age 3. 19 villages to 16. Grungy's got a fishing ship advantage. And he's going to maintain it. Even getting a 2nd dock. These players playing this map really greedy. Because there is quite a long rush distance to it. You've almost got to look at like proxy basing your opponent if you want to pressure them early. The reinforce time is just massive. It's a nice map by Erie. Just doesn't see a lot of play. It does have these special units off to the side, but they just end up not really being used all that much. So FF going to take this 2nd town center. Quite a nice spot for it. Going to be faster than Grungy's 2nd town center, but at the same time, Grungy's already up to 5 fishing ships, so 6th in queue versus 3 from FF. So Grungy's pretty much cut all of his land food gathering. FF's continuing to go, so he's actually banking up more deadweight food than Grungy is at the moment, despite having less fishing ships. So Grungy's eco is actually now really starting to propel ahead of FF's, because Grungy's going to have the second town center not that much slower than FF. Going to be able to get quite a bit more wood out for Age 2 army production, or go for the quick Age 3. As both of these players do like to play quite a late game macro heavy build, going for quick Age 3, quick Age 4. I'm surprised FF hasn't actually looked at throwing a marker down everywhere. And I mean, doing this isn't bad per se, but it's just a little bit too defensive, because it's not going to give him any value about knowing what Grungy's really doing till he's already over this side of the map and harassing what would potentially be, you know, an H3 town center or a market spot. I mean, you're probably better off putting it here, so you know when he's fucking leaving, and whether or not he's looking at sending something to get his own market spot. So Ville counts 28 to 26. So FF closing the fishing ship gap by having a quicker second town center production. He's already going to have a Decurion ready to roll, but we've got Loom already out for Grungy. So these villagers quite a bit tankier than they start out with 40% or 50% extra health. Second dock for FF, but he hasn't got a third for... Oh, here we go. Grungy's going to go for the proxy dock. FF's got a second dock here, but I think it's mostly just for macro. He doesn't really know about this. He didn't see the villager sneak through, I don't think. So FF's not aware of this. Don't think he caught that. He's even done... Oh, Grungy's even put a watch post on this side. So double Decurion harass incoming, but it's going to face 2 barracks spearman production. Well, Grungy's probably going to look at trying to make it look like he's going for a quick Age 3, but ultimately, oh, that villager isn't going to fall. Good micro there from Grungy. Oh, this is really nice stuff here. Just needs to save that. Oh, he's actually going to do it because FF doesn't want to lose the Decurions. So nice defensive micro there from Grungy. So, in fact, Grungy is going to go straight for the Age 3 and go straight for fire ships, but I was going to say he could either do that or just pretend to go Age 3 and just push out triremes and just disrupt this fishing eco anyway. Grungy now starting to bank a little bit of food. But so is FF still. These Decurions are going to need a bit of support if they want to interrupt double spearman production here. Because 3 Decus is just going to get melted by 8, 10, 12 spears pretty quickly. Grungy fishing really well, got good scouting of his shoreline. And now the fire ship production started. He's got not a lot in the water to worry about. I mean, it'll be double dock production. Aneris's as well, actually. But if he waits, if he's patient and pushes when he's got 2 or 3 already, it's extremely hard to come back, because by the time you actually get your warships out, all your fishing boats are already melted, and it sort of makes it unattractive to defend from that point. So really quite a safe base here from Grungy. Hasn't started getting any of the academy techs just yet. Don't know if he's going to cram out a 3rd fire ship, or he's just going to push with 2 for now and try his luck. FF's adding more Decurions and getting his 3rd town center. But right now Grungy, I think he's just gathering a little bit more than him. 52 vills to 48, and now the fishing ships are starting to fall. So, what was once 5 or 6 fishing ships? Actually, sorry, 7 fishing ships is soon going to be naught. So Aneris is in production for FF now, but Grungy having dealt so much damage already. FF instantly dropping down in score, and his eco back down to 45 to 56. 3rd town center on the way, but he's going to have to be careful now when he takes his market needs to deal some damage to Grungy somewhere, but there's plenty of spears around, and some hoplites too, so these guys don't have as much snare as the spears, but they're still quite a versatile unit. And the Inaris going to be able to clean up the fire ship. Oh, but some nice micro here. Grungy, oh no, FF does it. So the fire ship's going to retreat now, but they probably could just kill that bowman. Maybe harass these villagers that are idle for FF, which is really devastating for him because right now he needs all the eco he can get. With Grungy having taken out all of his water, Grungy's in a nice spot to be able to get merchant transports over his side. Maybe even looking at getting fishing boats over FF's side of the map. And these Decurions, this watch post is... FF doesn't know about the watch post, oh my god, that was so unlucky for him. So, Grungy's going to see that these guys are retreating. And he's going to know what's up. So FF's going to come back and try and assault the dock, but Grungy might be free just to push. Can he? Grungy can't see the town centre, but he might have seen the... Oh, he can see the villager. He can see villagers mucking around over here, so he might know what's up. The Decurions coming to scout the water. These fire ships, man, are doing a lot of damage to these docks. They take them down so much faster than your Age 2 warships, and so do Liburnians. These Decurions, a lot of DPS. This dock's going to fall relatively quickly. This is great watch post coverage here from Grungy. Look at this stuff. FF can't get villagers anywhere, can't get army anywhere without Grungy having a bit of a prior knowledge of it going on. Right now, Grungy running out of water at this, running out of fish at this side of his water. He probably needs to just throw down a dock here and send half these fishing boats up there, and be a little bit careful and preempt that FF's gonna now be able to retaliate. He's gonna do a bit of watch post cleaning up first, but this might actually give Grungy an even better tip off to what's in store. He needs to get those guys straight over to that dock before Grungy realizes he's going to have a bit of pressure on him, but this is terrible for FF. He's losing a lot of buildings. I think he had a bunch of houses and another auxiliary camp there, as well as both his docks. So this is rough for him. He's even going to try and reclaim the water. There's a lot of villagers to commit to this though. And well, the Decurions, do they see anything? No. So FF's going to try and commit here. This is a good angle of attack for him because he's going to be able to get quite a few villagers. And Grungy was just about to push out, so he's going to have to bring something back. He's got some Sari and Prodromos. They're not willing to bring the spears back. He's going to have enough of them just to really push. FF doesn't have a lot of army out, just bowmen at the moment. No Aquilifer, just to give them that little bit more damage. Which would be something that would be nice for him to fit in. Oh, this Decurion at the back is going to probably fall. No, they end up making it out of there. Oh no, it does fall, so FF needs to keep on running here. The Greek cavalry is a little bit faster, but over here, Grungy's putting the pressure on. FF's going to have to move out and deal with this, but he's at such an army differential at the moment. Having lost the water to not a huge amount of commitment from Grungy there, and really not getting any value out of initial Decurion harass. Now the Roman player going to try and pressure the Greek off the town centre. He's picked a good time to come in. So he does pick some units off. Grungy not looking to overcommit. But ultimately I think he probably could have, because he has a lot more army than FFNEZ, and right now this might have been what he was going for, just to pick off one or two of the Decurions first. What's going on over here? I didn't notice this. So that little group of cavalry applying the pressure on FF. Still at 68 villages, which is not too bad, but Grungy's all the way at 89. Both of those are pretty reasonable numbers. That's sort of the higher and lower end of the spectrum of what you want. But right now, FF's going to have to deal with pressure on both sides of his base. I don't know if he's got a lot of army to deal with it. He's trying to regather the water as well. So we're just having a bit of a laugh at FF's expense. But right now the boss is putting the smackdown on Lagzilla, so does he have enough to defend Grungy? He's got a lot of upgrades incoming. Bit of armor, bit of damage. And now he's really started to take all of his Greek unique upgrades. So there's a research time reduction, a train time reduction, a tower damage, building health, and range versus building damage. But oh, what's he doing? We're going. And right now, Grungy's backing out, but he knows he's already getting a bit of value elsewhere because all of FF's army is over there. So even 1 or 2 spearmen isn't really going to be enough to deal with this. FF needs like 5 or 6, and maybe some cavalry, maybe some of the Decurions as well to back him up. He's got to try and split his army up. Because Grungy really is putting a lot of his eco out of action right now. Slipping down to 65 vils, got like 20, got like 40 idling really. So Grungy getting insane value from this raid really. Even though he's losing a couple of units, he certainly has the eco to throw away a little bit and then really pressure his opponent into gathering inefficiently, stalling, and having to try and move villages around. Oh, FF leaving that house unbuilt too. That's going to be hurtful for him. So Grungy just waiting on armory upgrades, I think, before he looks at assaulting FF's army. And he's getting age 4 as well, so he can look at backing up whatever he loses here with an age 4 composition like Gastrophedes, Hippocons, Hoplites with Champion, upgrades like that. So Hoplite Champion really gives them everything that they don't already have over Spearmen, as well as also making them even better against ranged. So FF walling himself in. Gonna have to look at trying to mark it from this corner, but then it leaves him a bit susceptible to harass on the water. The single Liburnian doesn't have anything backing it up, so really I think Grungy could take this fight against FF and push him off the water once again, even though he's only got the 2 fishing ships. I mean, even though he's only got the 2 fire ships, and they are damaged. Aquilifer in the composition now, 2 of them. So this is great because these guys give the army, I think it's a 10% damage buff, or 8% damage buff. Really quite significant with a lot of units, particularly when they're attacking non-counter units, just because of how many bloody hits it actually takes to get the kills. So one of the Decurions tanking the initial volley from the Greek. And those Centurions, I think, were actually the ones to put that snare on. So an army clash here. And the Roman player, not in too bad of a shape, but I think if he loses this, Grungy is well ahead. If he breaks Grungy here though, which I don't think's happening right now because FF's lost all his front line. If he were to, it would really bring him back in the game, but right now he's going to enter Age 4 while being significantly down in terms of his army, and Grungy is going to have transitioned to more of an Age 4 composition, I think. Oh, he's getting more Prodromo, well, more cavalry at least, just because he anticipates that FF's going to go Ekis. So Grungy going to the merchant transport eco. I just want to see him try and push on the water because I think he's got the value. He can get the value that he wants to really break FF at this point, just with something so small like that. So FF's going to try and scout the fire ships, but the Aeneas is going to take some hits. Grungy doesn't actually realize what's going on here. Now he's going to see. FF's already noticed. He's looking at engaging. With this little range back and forth, I don't think it fares as well for the Greek player as he'd expect. But the Roman player probably needs to get some Scorpio or Onegas in the mix at this stage of the game, because that's an awful lot of range here for Grungy, and FF's whole front line is just not going to be enough, and there's just enough melee this time from Grungy that he can just completely overwhelm. And now look at assaulting the fortress. That single fire ship, man. He could do so much damage. And Grungy looking at assaulting over here because he knows FF's going to try and wall himself around the map to get access to whatever he needs. Grungy actually having to commit quite heavily here. But if he can get some villages of FF's, it really interrupts the eco, the transition to a proper composition to deal with the Greek player. Like the Onegas are going to come into play now, but is Grungy going to be able to wipe out enough of FF in time? GG. Well played, guys.